red, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple, black, white.
Hello, this is Brian Last, and I am your special education teacher here, and I want to share with you about color, how visual literacy has color and deals with color. So, color is basically an important factor in graphic design and for visual literacy as well. It shapes our perceptions and affects our emotions as well. So, usually when people talk about color of something, they're usually referring to the color of that object. So, just think about the colors of the rainbow and how they actually are in these visible spectrum of light. And these different wavelengths of light reflecting off an object are really the ones that are responsible for the type of color the object is portraying. So usually when people talk about color, most people are pretty much familiar with the primary colors because as an elementary special education teacher, we do talk about primary colors, which are basically your red, your yellow, and blue. And so the significance of these three colors, they actually work really well, and they can create any other color by mixing light of these colors together. For instance, painters, people who are wanting to paint something. Usually, if you go to like Lowe's or to our Home Depot or Sherwin-Williams, basically they use primary colors, and basically they can lighten it or darken a color to get a specific color that you're looking for. So we're going to look at some ways how color is used in visual literacy. So there are actually two types of categories of colors in visual literacy. There's the warm and then there's the cool color. So basically the red, orange, yellow, and other similar colors are basically warm. Blue is kind of seen as the cool color, but when you examine the balance of warm and cool in the presence of primary colors, usually we can get a pretty good sense of what the image is visually, what's going on with the image visually, that is. So think about the mood. Mood can be expressed through colors. And think about the color red. When you think about the color red, it evokes feelings of strong emotions or anger. Usually we get that feeling of red when we associate it with the color of blood. And usually blood is the ultimate red, and it represents passion, it can represent anger, pain, and very strong emotions as well. So just think about when we think of fast cars, it's usually a red car. Or so it just all suggests about how the type of emotion that red portrays. Blue, on the other hand, is more of a cool, kind of a passive color. And these feelings are probably related to the blue ocean or the sky. If you ever looked up into the sky and just saw only the blue sky, no clouds, it's very calming in that sense. So blue has that very cool and passive. Yellow, for example, is a very cheerful and warm color. So and it's kind of like that, when you see the sun, you feel very warm. You associate that with being warm. White associates with innocence. Usually you see like at weddings, brides usually wear white, and it kind of shows the pureness. And so that's what white basically portrays as emotion. Black represents evil, and because it associates with darkness, which is the absence of light. And black is typically worn by burglars or vampires. And so some of these are some of the examples here that can illustrate in ways which we feel. And so I want to just kind of share you one of the things that I've used in my classroom as a way of teaching colors to my students. And it's really interesting. All you need is basically taking a simple shape of red construction paper and then basically creating a red circle about 6 to 8 inches in diameter. So at the beginning of the class, you just kind of stick this red circle on the board, and then basically you have the students stare at the red circle. And you just keep asking them, please stare at the red circle, and hopefully they can look at it for 30 seconds. And as they're focusing and concentrating on that red circle, if you immediately remove it off the whiteboard, you'll notice that the kids' responses will go, wow. Or my students are the type of kids that would go, oh no, what happened? And it's amazing because something changes. So what happens is once you remove it, the red circle, it actually turns into the color of green. And so it's just amazing how our eyes and how we are able to see light, and it's just a fun activity for the kids. We also do a lot of things with colors, incorporating it with our doing like projects or doing like stems. We also do stems as well. So sometimes we do experiments. We'll take different bowls and we'll fill it with bubble, and then we'll pour different food coloring in it, and then we'll take a straw, blow in it, and see the reaction of the colors that are inside this bowl of bubbles. And the kids absolutely have fun, and sometimes it spills over and it mixes together, and you can kind of see like if it's a yellow and red, you can kind of see the pink coming through. Or if you mix the blue and the yellow bubbles together, you can kind of see a really dark yellow. So it's just a really fun activity for the kids to learn about colors. Also, too, I see we use colors in my room as well. So, a couple of years back, when I decided to repaint my room, I actually had to do some research, and I came across this color, which is a type of color blue that's great for my kids who are autistic or ADHD, and it kind of helps bring the room in a more calming atmosphere inside my classroom. And I also, when I was doing my research, I noticed that if you put in the center of your room a cluster of red and yellow, it actually sparks initiative to want to work. And I don't know what it is, but it just does something for the students. And they are actually, for the most time, if you come in my classroom, you will see the kids are really engaged in their work, and but they respond so well to the colors that are in my room. And I also have which I created, a sensory room, and it has a lot of colors within the room. We have lights. We have lights that glows. We have lights that turn and spin. And my kids who are autistic and ADHD, it's just amazing how the sensory room is actually a calming room for them. And it's just colors is an amazing communication, and a way it can communicate, it can affect students' emotions and their feelings, and it's just a great way of integrating color into your classroom.